A reading from the letter of Paul to the Romans. I urge you, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, your spiritual worship. Do not conform yourselves to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and pleasing and perfect. The word of the Lord.
Our second reading for this Sunday is taken from the letter of Paul to the Romans. We have been reflecting on the theme of dying as the path to true and full life. This has been manifested to us in the first reading from the experience of Jeremiah the prophet. His life was threatened by the words that he had proclaimed to people who did not welcome his word as the word of God. And he complained to God because of this. Yet, when he wants to run away from his mission and from his detractors in order to preserve his life, he experiences the word of God in his heart, in his bones, like fire. He cannot contain it. He must proclaim it. But in the process, he would have to die to his comfort. He would have to die to his desire to live and preserve his life. But it is in such dying and denial of self will he experience the full life, the true life of a prophet. In the second reading, St. Paul talks about another way of dying so that we could live. St. Paul tells us to offer our bodies, our whole persons, as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. Imagine offering one's self to God. Now, that sounds good, but in our day-to-day life, it is more comfortable, it is more gratifying even, to offer ourselves, our time, our talents to, the many other gods of this world. Imagine if you offer yourself to a lucrative career or business. Wow. You would earn a lot of money. You would be able to buy all the things that you have been dreaming of. You could bring your family and your friends to places that they have not been to. Imagine if you offer yourself to ambition and to power. Oh, the heights that you could reach, the adulation that you would receive from people, the recognition that they would gladly offer to you. Wow, these are things that we all enjoy. Yet, St. Paul says, you offer yourselves to God. Now, if we ask St. Paul, okay, that's noble, how do we do it? He says, we should be transformed. We should not conform to this age. We should not conform to this world. We should not conform to sin. So you die. You die. Transformation of the mind is a form of dying. The renewal of the heart is a form of dying. But when, according to St. Paul, we have transformed our minds, we have been renewed, then we will know what is pleasing to God, what is good, what is perfect, what is honorable. Then you live. Then your whole person becomes as living sacrifice, acceptable to God, and also pleasing to the eyes of the world. The words used by St. Paul may sound neutral, but when we look at our own experience, conformity to the world, is something that we seem to be used to. But when we know that life, true life, is to be found in offering myself, my total being, to God out of love, then we know it involves a lot of dying. A dying that is demanded when we are renewed and we are transformed. So, my dear brothers and sisters, we want to offer ourselves as a living sacrifice to the Father when we have to die to the world, so that we could know what is God's will and what is good and perfect in His eyes.